If you vote for Biden, it means no kids in school, no graduations, no weddings, no Thanksgiving, no Christmas, and no 4th of July together. Other than that, you have a wonderful life.
That was President Donald Trump warning you about the things that are already happening under Donald Trump. That's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for him. Does he not realize that he has been president for the last 4 years? And that these things have essentially happened already. Look, personally, I don't plan on going to Thanksgiving or Christmas. I spent 4th of July socially distancing. Why? It's because the President of the United States, Donald Jackhole Trump, did not encourage people to wear masks or socially distance. He also disbanded Obama's pandemic team, defunded the CDC, pulled experts that were supposed to monitor for any sort of sign of an emergent virus, a pandemic, a disease from Wuhan. 40 people got pulled from that and acted far too late in closing the borders to Europe and restricting travel. The only positive thing that he has done through this entire pandemic is close off the border travel from China at the behest and urging of his experts. So really, it wasn't even his idea in the first place. Of course, he likes it because I'm gonna be tough on China, even though he's got bank accounts in China. Yeah. So, and look, do you know why I'm skipping these things? Well, it's because I have family members and that are elderly and have pre-existing conditions. Turns out I don't want to endanger my family. And unlike Donald Trump, they will not be airlifted to the best hospitals in order to receive taxpayer-funded experimental treatments, which is why partly why Donald Trump had actually done so well when he got coronavirus. I mean, they would either die like the 225,000 Americans or suffer organ damage or at best cause an outbreak that would possibly infect the rest of the family, community, and possibly cause deaths or organ damage to other people in the community and cause everyone to have to go into quarantine anyway for the next holiday. So that's the reality under President Donald Trump and COVID. So it's pretty effing ridiculous to come at us with the whole Joe Biden is going to make sure that you don't have Christmas or Thanksgiving or anything like that, or 4th of July. He's going to destroy the holidays, and then he's going to implement the socialist agenda. Wait a minute, isn't Santa Claus the whole idea of somebody flying around and giving you gifts for being good? Kinda socialist? That's it. Every right-winger in America has got to ban Santa Claus because he's an old socialist. What are you doing? And look, this whole thing is ridiculous. Okay? In reality, you know what Trump's more likely to do? Or at least if you follow Donald Trump's advice, it's more likely to kill your MAGA-loving grandpa when he fails to socially distance or wear a mask. Look, I'm really tired of the alternative reality. I'm pretty sure you all are too. Okay? They're living in an alternative facts world. Okay? They're all going to parties and gatherings and big old MAGA rallies and places like Sturgis with all the bikes. And they're doing it at our expense, by the way. Because then those events become super spreader events. Okay? And they go and they mix and mingle their viruses and then they take them home. We didn't get to have fun at frickin' Sturgis. Okay, we didn't get to do anything like that. But yet, when they come home and they spread the virus, who pays the price? We do. We do. We all pay the price for this. And so we're masking up. We're being responsible. We're being the actual adults in the room. All right? We're doing all the right things. And these people just go and super spreader, right, and destroy all of our efforts. You know why? It's because, well, they're irresponsible. They don't take personal responsibility, all right? And not only that, but it's because Orange Man and Fox News said, oh, don't worry about it. It's fine. We know now that the White House is literally using a herd mentality strategy to deal with the virus. You know what that basically boils down to? We've tried nothing, and we're all out of ideas. That's it. We're done. I guess we're just not going to try anymore and just let everybody get infected. That's our plan. And by the way, that herd mentality, it was tried in Sweden. It's a disaster in Sweden. They have the highest deaths per capita out of all the countries that are around them that did have social, distancing and lockdown, more strict lockdown measures. In America, which has a much larger population, if you have those same numbers per capita here in the country, in America with a much larger population, you're going to end up having at least 1 million or so people die as a result of coronavirus. That's the reality of the situation. That's what they're going to do. All we're out here doing when we mask up is we're trying to save lives. And Donald Trump and his dumbass minions are pushing herd immunity and trying to make life objectively worse for the American people. And worse up, at least Sweden has freaking universal health care. We don't in this country. We don't have universal health care. We don't even have either party that's pushing for real universal health care. So when you get sick, sorry, dude, I guess you're screwed. I guess you can go die. Or you get sick and you get a pre-existing condition from this because you get heart or lung damage or cognitive damage. There's another study that came out that people who long-term suffer from COVID have a possibility of developing cognitive issues that are long-term as a result of being exposed to the virus. Who's going to pay for that? Who's going to cover that? That's a pre-existing condition. Now, turns out your insurance company could just say, hey, you got a pre-existing condition from COVID. COVID is a pre-existing condition. Now, I guess we can use that to deny you coverage. You know why? And you know what? That's part of the plan anyway, because Amy Coney Barrett looking to strike down the ACA, the conservative Supreme Court that's now supermajority, 6-3. Get rid of the ACA, go back to the bad old days, which I'm not saying the ACA is fantastic. It sucks. But you go back to the, days where the insurance companies can say, oh, you got a pre-existing condition, I guess we will not cover you. And I'm sorry, but Donald Trump's weak-ass, pathetic executive order doesn't do a goddamn thing. It's got no teeth. And by the way, America, no dental coverage. So half of Donald Trump's followers also, like his executive order, probably have no teeth. You know why? No dental coverage. We don't even guarantee that in this country. It's a shame. It's a goddamn shame. Ridiculous. The worst people are running the government. The worst. Now, speaking about that, to try to salvage this segment a little bit with some fun, we've got a couple here, tweets, social media posts in response to this, and it's fun. Here's Monica Rohr saying, hey, my kids are not in school. They can't go trick-or-treating. We can't visit my father for Thanksgiving or Christmas. Remind me, who's president right now? And look, that's a fantastic point, because guess what? Donald Trump's running in the playbook of, oh, look at the terrible establishment that's been in power for 4 years. Oh, oops. I am the establishment. I am the person that's been in power for 4 years. Oh. He doesn't seem to see it, though. He just doesn't get it. He doesn't get it. More. Jennifer says, our kids may actually be in school without masks if we vote Biden. Parents and grandparents may live if we vote Biden. 229,000 dead from coronavirus, and you have no national strategy but to quit. Now, look, you guys know I'm not a fan of Biden. Obviously, Biden's going to be better on the coronavirus than Donald Trump because he's not going to pursue herd immunity. He's actually going to listen to scientists like Dr. Fauci. And by the way, speaking of Fauci, I hate this meme that people bring up, okay? Oh, man, Fauci told us not to wear masks early on in the pandemic. Okay, there's a reason for that. They wanted to reserve them for medical professionals and doctors. This is back when infections were rather low. Now, after infections started to explode, started to ramp up, and we had a supply chain of PPE for our doctors and hospitals and medical professionals, that's when, and also when the science said, hey, turns out that whole mask thing, probably a good idea to wear them. That's when Dr. Fauci was like, oh yeah, science says, now we've done studies, guess what? You should wear your mask. And that's the thing. People who make that argument don't understand how science works. They don't understand the scientific method. They don't understand a damn thing. And maybe it's because part of them, some of them don't actually want to understand that. But it changes. Science changes when you start to know things, when you start to learn things from observation and study. That's when you can change your opinion. That's when you can change your recommendations. And that's exactly what happened. Fauci followed the scientific method. And at least with Biden, we know on that, not on fracking, but at least on that, he will follow the scientific method. Yeah. So, there's more. One more here. And it's from Hemant Menta. Said the kids are not in school. The graduations have been canceled. Weddings have been rescheduled. Families can't get together over the holidays. That's happening because Trump and Republicans are in power. And where's the lie? Again, you've got students that were robbed of their graduation. You have people that are suffering as a result of isolation. You have kids that are not getting proper, socialization. You have parents that are overstressed. We can't even get, for the parents who want to go back to work and can't, we can't even get childcare for those people. Can't even do that. And even without a pandemic, it's ridiculous how stupid and conservative this country is. How much we fuck over the regular average American worker. And you look at some of those other countries that can do this stuff with far less money than what we have, and far less resources than what we have. And you maybe think, where's all that money going? Well, there's a simple explanation of that. It goes into the politicians' pockets. It goes into the pockets of the corporations. Who does Donald Trump serve? The corporations. Of course. Look, as far as Trump is concerned, vote for incompetent people. You're going to get an incompetent response. What did I warn you? Years, like at least a year before this pandemic happened, probably sooner, probably around 2016, I was like, hey, Donald Trump's completely and utterly incompetent. What's going to happen when there's a real crisis? What's going to happen if there is a terrorist attack? What's going to happen if there's a major world event or, God forbid, a pandemic? I remember talking about that. And now we had a pandemic, and now we see exactly what happened. You get an incompetent response that costs people their lives. We lost at least a year of our lives to this. We're probably going to lose more. Fauci says not everybody's going to get vaccinated at least until by the end of 2021 into 2022. So at least a year, probably longer, and yet this idiot and this insane followers, I mean, they continue to push this nonchalant attitude of, oh, we can do whatever we want. And by the way, if we do the responsible thing, well, then we got to cancel Christmas. So vote for me, and you get your cake. And that's what it is. They just want their cake. Screw everyone else. No, I hope we can kick them all out. We got to get rid of these people so that we can actually go back to fighting what's important. Instead of fighting, imagine this, right? Instead of fighting for like, hey, I think the sky is blue, and you're fighting with people who think the sky is green or like turquoise or fucking brown, we actually get to be fighting with people, the establishment, on things like higher wages, racial social justice, Medicare for all, and a Green New Deal. Fighting for those instead of fighting for what's objective reality. That's what I hope for happens after the election. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a like and share with your friends. You can subscribe and help out the channel by becoming a patron. It's patreon.com/Jeff Waldorf. Or you can become a channel member as well. by hitting the join button below.